For centuries, the book of Proverbs has kind of been seen as this jumbled collection of wise sayings, almost like a scrapbook, right? Some have even called it the orphan in the biblical household. It's practical, sure, but it doesn't seem to have some grand, overarching design. But what if that whole assumption is just completely wrong? And look, this skepticism is real. It's influential. A really esteemed biblical scholar, Michael Fox, he basically argued that looking for some deliberate structure in Proverbs is just a waste of time. He wrote that trying to find patterns is only valuable because it's proven to be futile. In other words, he's saying, folks, it's a dead end, stop trying. But what if that's not the end of the story? What if, hiding in plain sight this whole time, there's actually an intentional design, a blueprint that completely transforms Proverbs from a random list of quotes into something way more structured and way more powerful? Well, that is exactly the theory from Dr. Kyle Dunham. He argues that Proverbs isn't a quote book at all. He says it's an ancient educational curriculum, one that was meticulously designed to train the next generation of leaders in Israel. And the goal of this curriculum? It was huge. It was designed to take young, inexperienced people on this journey, starting with basic foundational ethics, the stuff you learn at home, and guiding them all the way to the complex social and political skills you'd need to serve in the royal court. So you might be asking, how do you uncover a blueprint that's been hidden for thousands of years? Well, the key is a method called the structural canonical approach. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Instead of chopping the text into little pieces, you look at the book in its final finished form. You pay super close attention to the transitions, the seams between the big sections, because the theory is that's where the editor intentionally shows their hand and reveals the grand plan. Okay, so we've got a theory, and we've got our detective tool. Now we can finally start looking for the evidence. And it all starts with the book's macro structure, its overarching blueprint. And when you apply that structural approach, Proverbs suddenly reveals itself not as one single book, but as 7 distinct wisdom collections all stitched together. You can see them right here. It starts with a prologue, then you get 2 big sections from Solomon, some sayings of the wise, and it ends with the mysterious words of Agur and Lemuel. Dr. Dunham argues these are the 7 pillars of the curriculum, with each one building on the last, moving the student from simple ethics to the really complex realities of leadership. So to see how this curriculum actually works in practice, let's zoom in on that very first collection, chapters 1 through 9. We can treat it like a little case study. This first section is all about elementary wisdom. Think of it as Wisdom 101. The teaching starts in the home, with a father and a mother instructing their son. The goal here is simple, but it is absolutely crucial: character formation. This is the foundation that everything else is going to be built on. Now, right at the heart of this early training is this really dramatic choice. The student gets presented with 2 invitations, and they're personified by 2 very powerful figures. On one side, you have Lady Wisdom, who's offering life, virtue, protection. And on the other, you've got the seductive outside woman, or Lady Folly, who promises these illicit pleasures that lead directly to death. I mean, the choice couldn't be more stark, and it's the very first major test of character for the student. And the curriculum has this really clear path for growth. The book's own introduction says it's for learning wisdom and correction. That's step 1, the basics. But then it moves on to developing cunning and scheming. And we should be clear, in this ancient context, that's not sinister. It means developing a more sophisticated, strategic way of seeing the world. And finally, the student learns to get a handle on sayings and riddles, the complex, nuanced problems that you would face as a leader in the royal court. So what's the ultimate goal of this whole educational program? Well, the book's preamble states it very clearly. It's to instill 3 core virtues from the Torah: righteousness, justice, and integrity. These weren't just nice ideas. For a leader in ancient Israel, they were the absolute essentials for building a stable and a divinely ordered society. Every single lesson is driving the student toward embodying these 3 things. All right, let's bring our investigation to a close and deliver the final verdict on this ancient literary puzzle. The evidence really suggests that the arrangement of Proverbs isn't random at all, not even close. Instead, it reveals this purposeful, step-by-step journey. It's a curriculum designed to take a young, inexperienced person from the safety of their home and methodically prepare them for the very real dangers and demands of civic leadership. This one single, unifying theory changes everything. What seemed like a chaotic mess of quotes suddenly just snaps into focus. It becomes a single,
coherent curriculum with a clear beginning, middle, and end.
So why does any of this matter to us today? Because it elevates the book of Proverbs from just a static source of inspirational quotes into a dynamic, practical guide for development. It becomes this timeless manual for anyone who's trying to build character and navigate the complexities of life and leadership with real wisdom. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating final question to chew on. If a book that we thought we knew so well contained such a complex, hidden structure, what other ancient texts might we be fundamentally misreading? What other blueprints are just sitting there waiting for us to discover them?